Indianapolis Colts. Here's the former Cornhusker Brett Maher to get this one started. And we are underway from Indianapolis. Naeem Hines, his first carry. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Here's Hines. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. I got 15. I got 15. Double time. No. Check that. We're on Mike 52 right here. 52. Been long enough.
To throw on 2nd down. Bell. And this one's incomplete. Trey Burton, the one he was looking for. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Get that quarterback, D-line. Get that quarterback, D-line. D-line, get that quarterback.
From the gun, Bell. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox able to record his 5th sack of the season.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board.
Here we go. At their own 35-yard line.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Check 20. 80 weapon. He's checking credit. Box try.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their 2nd down call is going to look like now.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
Here we go.
Now the former 4th-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Here we go, here we go. 60 outlaw. Set rumble. Let's go.
They'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, if they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Whip, 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 whip. Watch the whip.
And now on the pitch, the ball's loose. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. D.D. Westbrook, his intended receiver.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Back to throw now on 1st down. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Tyus Bowser in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Back to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Brown. And they get the football, but not much on the return here as he stopped at the 7-yard line.
Well, you were backed up into a 2nd and long, but instead of trying to get the yardage back in chunks, he's trying to get it all back at once. And this defense was just lying in wait, and they're there to pick this one off.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Set, ready. Pittsburgh. Use your coverage. Come, baby. Woo! Check 31. Check 31. Slam, slam, slam. Switch.
They'll run on first down. Hines, and he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Loss of a yard. Brings up second and 11 at the 24-yard line.
So the loss of a yard, and now second and 11 from the 24-yard line.
Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? Heavy. What you got, Heavy? Give me some.
Operating from the gun, Bell. And he completes it to Westbrook. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Right there. 54. Right there. Right there. 54, Mike. Watch the run. Watch the run. Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4. Cut. 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 Echo.
To throw on third down, Bell. They'll find Hines out of the backfield. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10.
You think you gonna get this? You think you gonna get this? Hey, one set. Check, Mike. 50. Go. 54.
From the gun, Bell. Blitz coming, and down he goes. In for the sack, Deion Jones. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Let's put him on the buses. Let's put that team on the bus.
We're scoreless after one. Second quarter now from Indianapolis with the homestanding Colts in possession as they've got it with a third down and long coming up. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Mike's 50.
Operating from the gun. Bell looking deep for Adams. Oh, he may have gotten lucky. Tried to dump it off underneath on the check down. Nearly picked. Instead, it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Their own 18-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now. but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
That's caught inside the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. It's a gain of 35. Not really any offense for them to speak of here in this first half. Maybe that's what they needed, that big play.
Yeah, it seems that maybe everything changes right there. They've been a little slow out of the gate. We've seen that. But that one big play, that could spark a big burst right here.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Antonio Callaway, his second touchdown on the season, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Let's go.
The Colts take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. They'll be looking to match that touchdown from a moment ago. 7-0 is the score as they begin with a first down. A running play here on first down is going to go nowhere as he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Second and 13. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
The Colts on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds.
First and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Things progressing to plan so far. Their defense has been solid, and they've got themselves a 7-0 lead after the touchdown the last time they had the ball.
And this is no time to even think about, hey, are we going to milk the clock? Hey, are we just going to do ball control? This is the NFL.
There he goes left side. Touchdown, Cowboys. Kalen Ballage. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys are able to show off their quick strike ability.
Well, if the plan is to come in here and go toe-to-toe with these guys, it certainly does not hurt if you hit them with a big shot along the way, too.
That's got to give them some confidence. And the other thing right now, it quiets this crowd, at least for the time being.
Yeah, that is what is called the intended consequence of their actions.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Let's go.
The Colts take over first and 10
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. 2nd and 9 now. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter. A lot of time to change things.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54.
Slam. Wait. Double up.
On 3rd down, it's Hines. He's able to chew up 8 yards on the carry there, but still 4th down upcoming.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing him further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
As I was watching the play unfold, my eyes immediately went to the referee because I wanted to see, was he going to put those 2 hands over his head and that universal signal for a safety? But it's at the 1-yard line. You know you're playing with fire when you get sacked that close to the goal line.
They'll run here with Minaj. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big, big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. Back to throw now in his own end zone. Going for the deep ball. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And he's able to get it out of there. Fielded at the 43. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Bell, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. 2 minutes to play, 1st half. It's 14-0. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around. Trying to get it to Ebron, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 27. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. place. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Fair catch made at the 25-yard line. The Colts take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
On first down, Bell. And he whips that one incomplete there. Trying to get it there to D.D. Westbrook, but it'll be second down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
54.
Here's Hines on the toss play. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Now he's forced out left. Now he'll let it go deep left side. He's got it with the 15. And he takes this down deep on the Cowboys side of the field. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spend the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll stay on the ground. Balaj again. The second down play, not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
For the Colts, an extra defensive back in there now on third down. They'll set up a throw. He sets to fire deep. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a fifth, barring a conversion here on third down.
Check. Check hot route. Hot. Watch the safety creep. It's three.
Now a toss play. It's Hines. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on third down.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
Throwing on first down. Bell under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
50's the mark. Rap. Hey, Mike's 50. Let's go, defense.
Looking to throw. Bell. Looking for Campbell downfield. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 23-yard line.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
I'm here all day. Check. Fresno, go.
Again, it's Balaj. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up.
Watch the run.
He'll drop to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Credit that sack to Jabal Sheard.
Like how they started the third quarter here. They forced a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. And this one goes sailing out of bounds. Where did it cross? Well, they're going to say on this side of midfield. On first down, Hines. They'll get only a couple down to the 44. Looking to throw on second down. Bell. Ebron caught left side. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Let's go one more. Check, check. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Go.
Hey, watch out. Check, Mike, 54. 54. Let's go, tackle. Let's go. We got this.
From the gun, Bell. To the right side to Eric Ebron. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Forced out to his left. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
2nd and 4. And he's got it. A good-looking drive for the Cowboys so far. It's a first down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
Here's a run with Ballage, and he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Kalen Ballage with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
The Colts take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Okay.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Well, here's a good way to kick off a drive, complete over the middle. Good yardage there for the Colts. 18 and a first down. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Let's go, D. It's going to be a long day, offense. It's going to be a long day. Mike's 54. Mike's 54. Now, let's go, D. Big series right here. So we got to step it up. Right there. 54. Right there. Right there. 54. Go. Go. Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4.
On 1st and 10. Bell. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Hey, check Mike 54. Mike 54. Get that quarterback at all costs.
Back to throw. Bell. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Campbell making the catch. Well, they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Mike's 5-4. I'm coming after you. Yeah.
On 4th down, Bell. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Jordan Lewis. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They'll start on the ground with Balaj. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Anthony Brown there on the tackle. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. And a quick throw here. That's complete.
The 2nd down pass. Xavier Woods on the tackle. A 3-yard gain on the play. Brings up 3rd down.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. He'll look to throw. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half.
Let's go.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window? That his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 39. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They run it with Balaj. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
Like any team, they would have loved to have had more yards on that run, but it looks like they just want to get to the 2-minute warning and see what they want to do after that.
The Colts on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 5. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Here we go.
Looking to throw. Bell. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. Deion Jones in there with pressure yet again. That is the 7th time that they have dropped him here this afternoon. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. A well-hit ball there. 50 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. A bit of an opening there on the 1st down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
At the 43-yard line.
Down, 90, Wolf. Get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving. Converge.
Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee.
Here we go. 16 out long. Double time.
Out. 3 down. Out. Alert 86. Alert 86.
And they will take a knee here. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them to just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea of what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So for Dallas, the win gets them back over 500 at 5-4 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Colts, the turnaround hasn't materialized as they fall to 2-7. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.